Hey guys, if you've been watching my Crosley 307TA restoration project, you may recall that I found this large power resistor inside the high voltage box with every section being open in addition to some corrosion. In previous projects I've encountered these as well. Certain early RCAs, Admirals, have these. It's part of the damper circuits, and they're almost always open. Got some comments, speculation as to what might be going on. Well, this is a segue into a product review or a tool that might help us unravel what is actually going on in this, and that is a digital microscope. Now, I've never used one of these. I just unboxed it, so we're gonna go through it, see what it can do. It's made by Joyalens. And this is the manual. I'll see exactly which model we have once I open it up, 246 or 249S. So, but from the picture you can get some idea of what this actually is. So unlike some which have to connect to a external phone or monitor, I believe this is all built into one. You get a platform, you get lights, you get the lens magnifying assembly, and a display, which I think is kind of neat. In the past, when I've had trouble reading something, I've taken my phone and tried to zoom in, and especially on like surface mount parts, and try to read a part number and whatnot. Well, this could help out with that considerably. Also help examine circuits if you're looking for a cold solder joint or a bad part, again, especially on modern surface mount stuff, but also old stuff. Another thing I think we can take a look at is some silver mica disease on some capacitors and see if we can actually see what is going on. So we've got a bunch of stuff here. So we've got a power pack, we've got cables, we have a remote control. Kind of neat. So we can control it while sort of in presentation mode and zoom in, zoom out. Lens assembly, I'm thinking, and we're getting down to the major components here. There's a telescoping arm. Alright, so for the instructions in a moment, but I'll see if I can muddle my way through from what I'm seeing right here. So that's the base. These must be the lights. Yep. This goes in here. This will be where you put your subject. And this goes on here. And lens will go into that. And this is our monitor. But before I mess things up, I'm going to go through and read the instructions and actually make sure I put things together right so we can properly review this. Looks pretty simple. Looks like I just did step one. And I'm close to getting step two right. Alright, making good progress. I was slightly wrong about something. It turns out that the monitor part actually has the camera, the lens it's built into this, and that's what goes in here. So this screws into the base, this fits into this vertical pole, and then this drops in. Locks into a slot. Some set screws you need to loosen up. There we go. Well, we're actually almost done. Just got to do some the assembly down here now with the clips and the lights and whatnot. Now, basically, the end of the instructions, it's just 6 panels. I was wondering, what is all this extra stuff we have? And I realized, oh, these are some experiments you can do. That they give you some slides. This is a pine stem, for example. So I think we have half a dozen or so slides in here, and that's what these clips are for. These are optional. I'm going to leave them out because I don't think we're going to need them for the kind of stuff we're looking at. But that's what these are for. They screw down to the base if you so desire. They're spring loaded, so they would hold the slides down. We have a memory card, 32 gig. So you must be able to store your images on this. And yeah, I can see it's got a bunch of controls. So they must have one that will take a snapshot, and then I presume you get a USB cable and you can transfer them out. The main thing left that we need to do is hook up power. Oh, I see. This is the holder for the slides. And I believe it has a light source down below. And it shines up, and you get a power connector in the back. I see. Man, it's bringing back memories of high school biology and junior college and whatnot. Looking at slides of parameciums and whatnot. You get several lenses with this too. So there's quite a bit to this. Finally, here's a power pack. We get so we have this full-fledged remote, and there's also a little mini remote here. Looks good. Can do the light. I think this is just for the light, so you can do light intensity and turn it on and off. So this we looked at was the quick assembly guide. This is the actual owner's manual, and they do spell out what all these various components are right up front. So this is the actual microscope assembly. We've got the mounting bracket behind it. This is one lens, and you get two others. Thumb screw on either side, you can remove it, swap out the lens depending on what you're trying to look at. We've got the dimmer control with the intensity for the slide box. We've got the full remote control. We have an HDMI cable, so you can hook this up to an external monitor. USB cable for power, possibly data transfer. We've got our slide holder. We got our kit of slides. We've got some tweezers, and that's basically it. We still need to hook up the power to this. There's more detailed here about, there's a bunch of adjustments on this to move it up and down, left, right, and so on. Okay, so the USB port, yep, it's up on top of this guy. There's a connector in the back of the display up there, so that's what we need to hook up for power. Looks like the same power pack. Yeah, it's got a few connectors on it, so it'll feed power to both our slide box and the microscope itself. Instructions on how to choose which lens to use. Got an example here, looking at a coin and some slides. Explain what the remote control does. Tell you how to save files to the micro SD card. You can record video, or you can take still photos. All sorts of settings. And then how to hook up external devices. Calibration, measurement. Yeah, okay, so there is software you can put on your computer as well to help you analyze the photos you've taken. Total assembly time so far, I'd say, is less than 10 minutes. Let's see, this goes in here. Already got light coming out of this. Oh, there's our welcome screen. Oh yeah, it is on. It is on. Okay, so that's me zooming in, trying to zoom out. It's probably not the right lens for the slides. Take the coating off here. Let's try using one of their slides since something like Promote is something that's good application for it. So I suspect that is not the right lens. Actually, yeah, no. So there's this barrel on this lens is knurled, and you can rotate it to do your focus. Reduce some of the overhead lighting here too. I think we probably have too much light in our source. So let's check out this dimmer. Oh yeah. Okay, so that was as dim as it gets. I'm thinking I probably have the wrong lens. Let's see. They do have that in the manual, is how to choose the right lens. Oh. I think we also need to lower the whole assembly too. When they showed here with the slide thing, this barrel's right on top of it, so that's just one of many adjustments they have on this, is you can lower the whole thing. Let's give that a try, shall we? Oh. I think I'm actually focused. I'm not sure what I'm focusing in on. Yeah, that's what I thought. I was focusing on the actual light source. Whoa. So that is the actual item on the slide. Let me adjust the camera so you guys can get a better view of that. That is crazy detailed. I've never used one of these digital microscopes before. I'm used to using the old, I'm old school. I'm used to using the optical type. That looks really good. And this thing is really easy to set up too. I should have this secured a little bit better, but because I'm just trying it out now, I just kind of have things a little bit loose there. So here's part of an onion skin. I think that's a classic thing we all looked at back in school. I think I'm actually a little bit too close on some of these too. Let's try backing out a little bit. I mean, this is good if you want to see super detail, but I think we might be a little too far in. Oh yeah, there we go. That's remember your biology class, plant cells. There you go. Maybe a little more light. A little better. I gotta say, I'm impressed. So I think if I lower this down, we can actually get more magnification. Yeah, check that out. I don't know what the resolution is on this, but that looks pretty good to me. I don't know how many megapixels the sensor is or how good this display is, but I think it's got to be 1080 or something like that. Looks sharp to me. Let's see, what else do we have? Well, there's a honeybee wing. little too close to see what's going on. So in a bit I'll get out that power resistor. I think we can also maybe try looking inside a vacuum tube. I'll just grab some odds and ends around the workshop. And, oh, there it is. Let's see what we can see. Oh yeah, and I've got a cap that has silver mica disease. I already have the wafer out. We can try taking a look at that. Yeah, check out that detail. Well, this one looks pretty freaky. A Musca domestica compound eye loading. That's what it says on the slide. I'm not sure what exactly that means, but that looks pretty freaky. Nobody gets nightmares from looking at that. What we're going to look at next, we're not going to be looking at the slide, so you can just disconnect power from this box and move it aside, and this is your target area down here. Again, that you can install clips via some screw holes in the back if you want it to be held down, because you can see what I've been doing is you bump into something that obviously it's going to move around, so it can be advantageous to hold things in place. So let's start out with this power resistor. Now, I suspect this lens is too strong for what we want to do. I think we're actually going to want the weakest lens of the pack. So which one was that? Lens L. D. This is L. Alright, so let's swap out the lens. Thumb screws on the side. And out she comes. I don't see an obvious switch to turn on these external lights on the sides here, but I presume it's going to be with the remote control. So let's... Oh, and I wonder if that needs batteries. I haven't even tried it. I haven't even opened this up yet. Oh, I put my SD card in. Just curious what these buttons do. So yeah, okay, that's the digital zoom. Oops. I probably should leave it just one times. Alright, and we need 2 AAA batteries, so let me go hunt some down. Alrighty. Alright, it works. And contrast color so you can control what you see on the display. See if I can get out of the menu without screwing anything up. There we go. Alrighty. That is pretty trippy. So that is the corrosion on one of the terminals. So the question is, where is the actual failure? So we know it has corrosion. but can you find break in the wire? I'll back off a little more so you can see more at one shot. Let's focus on this one. Try the other side. What I'm looking for is, we know there's resistance wire wrapped around the body of this thing. And somewhere there is a connection from the wire wrapped around this form to this lug. It's probably underneath this coating. So let's try chipping a little of it off. It was a bit harder than I expected to get the coating off of this resistor. And after all, they are supposed to be reliable components, so I guess I shouldn't be too surprised that it's a rather heavy porcelain type coating. But I did crack it off, and here's a closer look at it. Not quite what I expected. So underneath that coating, it's just raw copper. And very metallic odor, too, when I broke it off. So not surprising where it was exposed to the environment. Sure, it corroded. It has no, it's not even tin plated or anything. It's just raw copper. Now, I haven't found a connection yet. I think it's underneath. There's a little strap sort of crimped around there. And this copper band goes around the entire body of the resistor. And there's the other side of that band. Now, I got a comment from somebody that I think the wire is pinched in between, because, yeah, this copper strap, well, it's a strap, so it has two sides to it, and there's sort of a seam there. So let's try to get that clip off, and perhaps the wire is being pinched in between the two. Actually, that was rather loose, so now it's gone. So we should, I think, be able to pry these apart. A little knife here. Now, I could be using the built-in video capture of this device. The only reason I'm not is I want to include audio too, and I'd have to record a separate audio track. But absolutely, I could be. I'm going to cut the eyelet off because that is soldered. Get down closer to the base there. Let's see if we can separate this now. Oh yeah, there it goes. There she goes. So what is inside? I'm not even sure what we're looking at. I assume these were wire wound, but could it just be the whole ceramic tube is coated with some type of semiconductive material and that copper band just presses into it? What is this? I guess that's just carbon? Or is there some service info calls it a wire wound resistor? Is the wire embedded underneath this? Never delved so deeply into one of these before. I'm kind of tempted to just take a hammer to it and, yeah, you know what, I'm just going to bust this. It's not a rare thing. I have others. They're all bad. But I want to break into this and wonder, is this a ceramic tube that's somehow coated with a conductive or semiconductor material, or is it resistance wire that's embedded inside the ceramic somewhere? Boy, one little tap from a hammer, it sure broke apart easily. And perhaps we can answer the question now. So we'll do a little forensics here. Yes, there is a wire. It's a little dog hair. But yeah, see these two pieces. There is the wire. There is a very fine wire embedded in all that porcelain mess. So let's see. So we have white porcelain on the inside, and then okay, so then there's resistance wire on that, and then there's a fairly thick black coating over the wire. Check that, huh? So whatever that was supposed to accomplish, well, it doesn't seem to have done a very good job because these fail so often. Now let's take a look at a capacitor wafer, mica wafer, that has silver mica disease. So what happens? What is this? It's a disc of mica that has silver plating on both sides. And what happens, I believe, we're looking at one of the problem areas right here, is we get silver migrating, and it actually extends on both sides to the edge and starts shorting out around the edge. And this blackened stuff here, that should just be clear. It should be clear mica, but that is silver that is migrated. It's drawn by DC voltage bias on the capacitor, and the silver ions start migrating. And they start shorting out, and you get that crackle. And there's another area where it's gone to the edge. Well, let's try looking inside a tube. I don't know how well this is going to work. It's going to be trying to look through. Well, yeah, actually. Focus is off, but yeah, wow. 12BY7. That's trippy. So if you had a tube that failed, you could do some seriously detailed autopsy on it, look for bad elements inside. Or if you're just curious to see how they're constructed, all those little minuscule welds inside. There's where the leads come through the glass. So yeah, I am thoroughly impressed. One, it's very reasonably priced for what it can do. Two, I got this set up and working with barely reading the instructions in a matter of minutes. And three, the quality vastly exceeds what I was expecting. Remember, this is the lens with the lowest magnification. I was not expecting anywhere near this resolution. I guess one last thing we can try doing is record video on the actual device itself rather than my video camera being pointed at the monitor. Alright, a little bit of a change of venue here to my messy office. I have the scope now plugged directly into my laptop. They give you the power pack, which has a USB cable, which was what I was using earlier to power the device up top. But there's also a cable that has a USB cable on the other end that you can just plug into a device like a laptop. I downloaded and installed their software, which can do all kinds of stuff as far as doing real-time capture with the microscope and viewing the files and whatnot. But when you power this up, you get a choice. And I chose the other choice, which is mass storage, which means it just allows you to mount this flash drive on your computer. So I now have a D drive, and if you go in there, you got photos and movies. So here are some photos I took. So there's a photo of that tube element, and that is really, I want to give you guys an idea of the quality. So my display on my laptop is 4K, but I'm recording in 1080, so you're not getting the full impact of that, but take my word for it, that is 4K quality. And as far as the movie goes, I recorded a little movie clip, and I'll include this in the YouTube video and my video editor. So right now I'm video recording a video that I took. There we go. So, yeah, you get the idea. Now, as far as the models go, I followed the links that they gave me. So the 246 is a 7-inch LCD display, and that's what I have. The 249 is the 10-inch version, and for some reason the links they gave me, well, that one link was to the UK for some reason, but here is the link to the link to the 7-inch version, the version I've been demoing this whole video. So that's the current price as of July 9th, 2024, and it's 7% off. So you get it for $139.99, and the 10-inch version is $169.99, and they're prime, so you get free shipping and all that good stuff. Free overnight delivery, for that matter. So I have not fully explored what all the software can do, but for that price, I'm very impressed with what this can do, just out of the box. I didn't look at anything before I started recording this video, and I figured out how to use it basically in real time while you guys were watching. I put it together in less than 10 minutes and pretty quickly figured out how to use it. Let's try this in the other mode. So when I turned it on this time, I chose PC camera mode, which then triggered the software, and it's allowing me to connect in USB camera mode and select OK. And I believe, yes, we are now capturing in real time. So you now get a simulcast on your PC of what is on the display. And there's all sorts of tools in here. It basically mimics the remote control, where I could capture image, I could capture video. I think I'm trying to expand out the right edge here. I think so they give me some info about what mode I'm in the image resolution and stuff like that. Measurement results, they call it. So you get a full-fledged suite of tools that you can use to, and you can zoom in. So that would be your optical zoom down there versus, so that's my little cursor on the D there. We're seeing a huge blown up version of it there. Here it is fired up again. I have it pointed down at the manual, so that is the model, the 246MS. Now I just barely scratched the surface as to what this can do. So as they include a little slide kit, so yes, for the home science. In fact, one of my coworkers just coincidentally asked me today if I had any ideas what his 12-year-old son could do for a science fair project. And I said, well, I just unboxed this digital scope, and it's pretty cool, and he seemed excited about it, and I think I'm going to lend it to him. And then, of course, there's technical aspects. They outline a bunch of things you can do with it in the manual as well, and on the, if you go to the Amazon site, says, see, they're looking at a circuit board. Yeah, absolutely. If you're trying to find a defect in a surface mount circuit board, maybe a little solder bridge or a cracked trace or something, absolutely. And as you saw, I had some fun looking at some old vintage electronic stuff, silver mica disease and whatnot. But basically, anytime you want to look at something that's bigger. And as somebody who's a bit older and grew up with optical microscopes and having to screw around with them, this is so much easier. And of course, you can take super high-res photos and high-res video of the stuff you're looking at. So I'm going to leave you off with a little video clip that I actually created with this device. Hope you found this interesting. Links will be in the description. Thanks for watching.